Hi, this is Jody Beck from Jody's Gems Quilting, and I'm going to do a really quick video of how to box the bottom corners of my favorite backpack purse. And I thought while I was doing it I would go ahead and just show you some tips and hints. The cording that I use, in case you're interested, was old macrame cord, which is actually 6mm. I like that one. I've also tried the parachute cord. I've had students that have used this. The paracord comes in little packages too. And you're going to need some lining, a lining fabric, and that's a tip for you in the pattern. When you get the pattern, my favorite backpack purse from Jody's Gems Quilting.com. You can order it on there or from your local quilt shop. And in there, when I talk about the lining, you're going to zigzag the edge. Can you see that? Zigzag it, or you can serge it on your serger. And what you're going to do with that real quick, I was just going to show you, is you're going to stitch it, on the ends. You're going to zigzag it to keep it from fraying. You're going to trim the corners. You're going to turn it, press it, top stitch it according to the pattern. Then you're going to fold it over just like this and stitch it to make your casing. Then you're going to continue on with the pattern. And one of the things my students usually have a hard time with is boxing the ends, the corners. So I thought I would show you how to do that today. They've asked me to make a video for quite a while. And what you're going to do is take one corner at a time. If you happen to have two seams, you're just going, sorry about that. See if that's better. If you have two seams, you're going to line them up so they nest together. Makes it easier. If you don't have the seam, you're going to have a fold, and then you're definitely going to have to use your 45-degree angle on your ruler. So you're going to line it up with the 45, and you're going to make sure that this seam right here, the side seam, basically is on that 2-inch line. So I just do 2-inch, I box the ends, and without the pins in there, I just kept that so it would be lined up so I wouldn't lose my place. You're going to take your favorite marker. Sometimes I just use a pencil, whatever's handy because it's on the inside. You're going to mark this really good. And you're going to do this with each of your corners. And then I pin it just like this. So I put 3 pins in there. Then you're going to take cording, which I like using this actually. It finishes the corner really nicely, you'll see in a minute. And you're going to take a candle. You're going to cut them to the length that it tells you in the pattern. And then you just run it right over the edge of the flame, and it helps to melt that edge so that it doesn't fray. So that'll be really important, but don't touch it. It'll be melted plastic, so it'll be very, very hot. You also want to do that with the cords. When you cut your cords, you're just going to run each end over the flame. And the pattern will tell you how long to make your cords. The pattern also features 3 sizes. It features an adult size, a child size, or a very petite adult size, and then a toddler size. I had a student that wanted to make one for 2 or 3-year-olds, so we made a toddler size, and we wrote that into the pattern. So once you have these done, a lot of times I like to do a bunch of these at once. I'll cut them all, get them all together, tie them up so that they are in a set and they're ready to go. I believe I'm done with that now. The other thing that I wanted to show you is on your backpack, you're going to take and you're going to put this loop of that cording in there, which I buy by the yard at a local fabric or craft store, and you're going to tuck that into the seam. So what I want to do, and this is actually my backpack, I've used this for over a year, and this thing holds a ton of stuff, and I absolutely love it. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your cording you are going to take your pins out, and you're going to, that center one, keep the two end ones in, you're going to fold that, tuck it in here, and what I like to do is feel and get like a 1/4 inch or so beyond it, 1/4 to 1/2 inch beyond your marked line. Do you see the marked line? Then you're going to pin each side, and sometimes I like to open this up once you've done both sides and see if you like it. This is the time that you can flip these back and forth. I don't even know that it really matters which direction you go. Does that make sense? I like using those, or even a piece of the cording. You can also just tuck your ends into that seam and stitch it. Once you have those tucked in exactly where you want them, they're both about the same distance sticking out, then you're going to stitch them, and you're going to set it into your machine. And just stitch. And when I stitch this, I typically like to back stitch often. So I will just back stitch to start it. I carefully, ever so carefully, stitch over my pins. I don't typically like to do that, but I don't want to take them out either. I do a lot of praying. And then I back stitch just in sections, back and forth. You can also go back and stitch these where the cord parts are, that little holder, that webbing. You can stitch that again to the right, but you want to stitch that really good. Okay, and so you have that side done. Then you're going to do that with the other side. And like I said, you could stitch it again right over here if you wanted to make sure that it holds. Anything to make it hold really good. And I see that it's not always perfect, but I've never had anybody notice, and I never really notice once it's done. So once you have those done, I do not cut that off. I used to cut them off, and it just left a lot of raw edges, and so I don't even bother cutting them off anymore. Turn it right side out, and you are good to go with the rest of the cording. And so what I do with the rest of the cording is, this is when you take your safety pin, you take a large safety pin, and you run it through one side and out the other, and then you start on the opposite side and go, so you're opposite, so they're coming out both ends. Let me get that before I lose it. I had my pin in here. There you go. Whoop. So you've got two cords coming out each, one cord coming out each side. Once you get that done, so this is how we used to thread it for all those years. Take a large safety pin, run it through there. Then the secret to this is you're going to come down through the end. You're going to come back up through. You're going to tie it in a knot. Smaller the better. Just like that. And then I typically will melt this or hot glue it, touch it with something really hot to keep that so it melts a little bit together. You got to be really careful because it's really easy to melt through that, and then you'll lose it. So keep that in mind. But you're going to do that with this side. You're going to come down through with this one and do the same thing. Okay, just like that. Melt it again, and then I like to put these up inside the casing at the top. And so this would need to get, typically I do that, go down through and then up the other side. I don't usually run it this way, but I want to get that. I wanted to show you how they come out. Oh, there we go. So if my loop is on that end, my there. I've got my loop on this side. I'm going to put my, what I call seam or my knot on that end. So loop through here, knot on that side. So this one I need to move to the other end also. And then you are pretty much done, ready to go. And these will stay secure, they will work. I've never put buttons, pockets, I'm sorry, I've never put pockets inside of these. I've never needed them. I use a lot of pouches. So I make my pouches with some really cute fabrics, and I have a good time with that. And then these will stay right inside, and you just pull it up. Okay. Of course, there we go. I had to get it to the other end. Okay. That'll give you an idea. I got to reposition my nuts. But other than that, it's ready to go. I can go to the city, I can travel, I can go wherever, and it will hold a lot. And then you just open it up quickly, you can get in it. And if you're trying to be protected in the city, you don't want people stealing things out of there. I don't put valuables in there unless I'm in a safe place. But the best part is that you don't have to worry so much. It's like they're not going to unzip your purse, or they're not going to just stick their hand in your bag and take whatever they want. So keep that in mind. You can definitely add pockets if you want to, and you don't have to. But anyway, I hope you have fun making these, and I hope it helps you. Again, it's my favorite backpack purse, BKP 129 from Jody'sGemsQuilting.com. Have a great day. God's blessings to you. Bye.